hey there, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, I truly believe you're meant to be here, so hit that subscribe. I'm out here motivating and dancing. I'm not a good dancer, but it brings me joy, so hopefully it brings you joy too. I guess I'm doing some kind of robot. Anyways, I'm super excited. We're 10 days away from Ironman California, and most of my videos over the last few days have been about Ironman California, but most of the time it's just about life in general. But it brings me joy to help people out, motivate them, maybe put some words in their brain that they haven't heard before, or they heard it before and they're hearing it in a different way. So here I am. I'm doing it. We did a swim video. We did a bike video. We did a run video. Let's go through Ironman California's 2025 athlete guide. I highly recommend going through this yourself, but I know there's a lot of words in there. Some of it can be confusing. Some of it could be like, does that even pertain to me? So I'm going to go over what I think are highlights in my case. This is my third time doing Ironman California. I am a triathlete. I've been doing triathlon since 2014. I then got sick. I'm a cancer survivor and pulmonary embolism survivor. Got back into triathlon about 3 years ago, but I'm also a fitness trainer and all of that. So that's just kind of my background. But everything you hear is my opinion. It's not the basis of Ironman. It's none of that. It's just experience coming from me. When you get to Ironman, there's going to be a little meeting, and essentially what they do is, I know they sent you this book, but they're like, you're not going to read that book. So they go over the stuff inside of this book. So this is kind of my own little athlete briefing, what I would say and things that stand out to me. But go to the athlete briefing. I'll mention it again later. It does say mandatory. They don't check your name off. They don't scan you in or anything. They have to say it's mandatory because they're saying things out loud that you need to know for your own safety, for their safety, for everybody's safety around you. And it's 100% just about safety. After that, you get to have fun, do your race. The dance is yours. So let's go through this. I'm going to go through page to page and just tell you the things that stick out to me in each of them, and the things that I would bring up, things that I didn't know the first time I went through, and I didn't even notice the first time I went through sometimes. So yeah, let's go through the athlete guide. We got 68 pages. We're not going to read every one of them individually. Like I said, I'm going to kind of go through, but if you pull up your athlete guide with me, it would be fun. You can find it, ironman.com/Ironman California. I don't know if that's the exact webpage. I will link it in this description. But if you search Ironman California, it's the first link that comes up in your Google or your Safari. So we got the first page, this beautiful, beautiful view of the swim. That's that bridge that we talk about, Jim Boom Bridge. If your family wants to watch you swim, they can stand on that bridge. They might not be able to pick you out in the water, but that's the only opportunity they're going to be able to really see you swimming. But they won't be able to get back to, if they see you past that moment, they may not be able to get back to transition in time to see you switch over to bike. So think about that. But that is a really cool spot to watch the swim. My hubby got some really cool shots there last year of people swimming there. Our first page is our table of contents. Second page is the race director, just talking about important things that stand out for them. I think it is Jenny, our race director. So say hi to your race director. They're pretty cool. They're like exactly what it says. Like if you think of a director of a movie or a play, they're making sure everything happens correctly throughout the weekend. So give them a high five and a thank you when you see them. Hopefully you'll be able to see them. I think I met the race director one year, but there's also cool like people around directing each section and all of that. So she mentions fork around program. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. She mentions the new athlete village location. So if you've been to this race in the past, the village is the place where we do check-in, where they sell you all the cool merch. That is not going to be at and in the baseball stadium this year. That was really cool last year. I don't know why they changed it. Again, I don't run these races. It was cool to be in there, but I have a feeling where this location is, they're going to have a big tent set up down the main Capitol Boulevard there. There's a bunch of grassy areas in between the roads, and they closed down that road pretty much in that area for the race. So I have a feeling there's going to be tents set up in that area, and that's what you're going to be looking for. When you arrive, all this stuff will almost be, even if you arrive on Monday, Tuesday, all this stuff will be rolling in. So, she mentions Friday Swick Pamphlet. All of this stuff I'm going to go once we go to it. So read over that for sure. It's a nice letter. Say hi to your race director. Next up is your event schedule. This gives you all of your times to be places, when to be, how to be. Make sure you go over there. It has all your athlete briefings that I said are mandatory athlete briefings. They will film one of the first ones, and you'll be able to watch it on YouTube, or they'll email it out or something. At least they did the last 2 years. But go to it. It lasts anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. They yield questions in the end, but you don't have to stick around for the questions. A lot of people just stand up front and ask the guy the questions. Important parts about the schedule that stick out for me: Ironman Village is open 12 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 3. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday times. But what's really important is that you have to get to check-in by noon on Saturday. They do have Saturday check-in. That's something they've added that they didn't always have in the past. But check-in means you're officially a part of the race. You're going to pick up your bib. You're going to pick up all your bags. If you don't go check in by noon on Saturday, you do not get to race on Sunday. So go check in. There is no race day check-in. They won't allow it. Get there, do it. I'll be there on Thursday early afternoon, hopefully, is my goal. So if you see me, say, hey. Another important on there, your athlete briefing, timing chip. Another note on here is that you do pick up your timing chip at check-in now. I think that comes up a little bit later, so we'll talk about that. Practice swim on Friday. That also comes up a little bit later. We'll talk about that. They do a welcome ceremony on Friday night. They usually put together pretty cool videos. Last year, it was on the lawn right in front of the Capitol, so you're looking at the Capitol in the background the whole time. And it was just fun. You get to socialize with the other people that are there. They call out some athletes that might just be age groupers doing the race, and we're all pretty much age groupers because there's no pros at this race, not officially in any sort. So, So welcome ceremony. I always try to make it. Let's move on. Read your schedule. Go over your schedule. Up next, to the next page, we have athlete check-in. Like I said, those are the times. Make sure you check in. Actually, this says Saturday 18 between 9 and 11 a.m. I take it back. It's not noon. Well, that's so weird. You will have to check in by 11 o'clock Saturday. Go do it on Thursday or Friday. Just go check in, get it out of the way, feel good about it. Like I said, in here, it is note that you will pick up your timing chip during athlete check-in. It is a separate section. So you go and get your bags and your bibs and all of that, but then there's somewhere else that you go get your timing chip from. In the past, this would happen at bike check-in. So this is something a little bit different. So make sure you're aware of that if you've done races in the past and seen it at bike check-in. I need some drink in between this. In your race packet, it tells you what your race packet will be in there. You'll have your bags, you'll have your bike sister, you'll have an athlete wristband. That's the most important part of not most important part, but your athlete wristband proves that you're athlete all weekend. There's going to be athlete only areas for food, going in to the swim corral, all of that. You'll have to have your athlete wristband on. So just make sure you have that, put it on. I think they usually put it on for you when you check in. They do. So next page up. We have some pre-race info. There is all the addresses that you need there. Tells you about the mandatory athlete briefing we've talked about. Ironman Village, pre-event swim. Okay, they are going to do a practice swim. It's going to be held on Friday. So there will be an official practice swim on Friday, October 7th from 10 to 1 p.m. This is through Ironman. They're hosting this. You'll go to what's called Tuscany Park, which is the convergence of the two rivers that we talked about during the swim. They just set up a little area where you have to swim up against stream and then come back down. So if you want to get in the water, get the feel, go do it. Also, one of the active triathletes in the Sacramento area holds a swim. She gets some people together with some kayakers. We're going to be doing that at 4:30 on Friday. So just a heads up, has nothing to do with Ironman. It's completely separate. Go check out the Ironman California Facebook group. It has the event in it. Mandatory bike and gear check-in. Make sure we're checking in our bike on Saturday, October 18th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You'll be able to get your morning ride in, get a little shakeout, make sure your bike's okay. But then you have to make sure your bike is in transition by 4 p.m. on Saturday. They won't let you bring it the morning of. There is security there all night. They do let you cover your bike with some kind of cover if you think it's going to rain, but not a full cover. So this means like plastic bags or a towel over your bag. You can't put a full bike cover like you would on your car or whatnot on the bikes. They don't allow that. All right. Next page up. Interesting fact. Now that the main village is not at the baseball park, they are still allowing you to park for free at the baseball park. So this map shows here where you can park, where transition is, and where you would have to go to do your check-in. It is, I'm going to say, about a 3/4 mile walk. So just be aware of that. There is parking all over Sacramento, but it is a major city. So look into that. You will be paying for said parking. So just be aware of that. That's the free parking. Walk, get your, you'll be walking a bunch. Just make sure you get a little rest over the weekend. All right. Up next is the information about the practice swim. Like I said, what they allowed you to do. There is paid for parking at that Tuscany Park. The address is 140 Jim Boone Street. Just be aware that you do have to pay $7 to park there. And they give you like a copy of the receipt. So just know if you want to go to that, you can park there. You can also Uber there. You can also, there's a bunch of different options. Like I said, we're doing the swim at 4:30 in the afternoon. If that's something you're interested in joining us, that has nothing to do with Ironman. What is this Morton bar? Look at this. Do you guys eat these? This seems so heavy. I don't know if I can get through that. And it looks seedy. Is that any good? Anyways, let's go on. All right. Next up is a page about gear bags. This is very important. Your gear bags are color coded. Each one has a different color, and that will help our volunteers put them in the right place. So if you put the wrong things in the wrong bag, they're going to the wrong place. So just so you know, you got a clear bag. It is your morning clothes bag. This is the bag that you'll put if you wear shoes to swim start, which most of us do, right? Flip-flops or sandals of some sort. I'll be wearing my Hey Dudes probably. Any extra clothing, you're going to put that in the morning drop-off bag. You get that all back at the end of the race sometime on Sunday. So they will bring that one back to you. All of that stuff comes back to you. If you need a snack and you didn't eat it, you would put it in there. Then when you're at swim that morning, you'll hand them your bag and they sort it out. You just hand it to them. You're off your day. Make sure you get, like we talked about during the swim, make sure you get your swim cap and your goggles out of there because, yeah. You have a blue bag. This is your bike gear bag. This is the stuff that's going to go in transition. I have a couple pictures of transition where those bags are all lined up for you. Again, race morning, you can drop all of these off. This is stuff that you will get back, your helmet, your bike shoes, the food that you need on your bike, so on and so forth. We're going to put our running stuff in our run gear bag. That's the red bag. That's going to be your run shoes, your run belt. Speaking of belt, your bib will be in your bike bag. Just put your bib on when you get on your bike. It's the easiest way to go. Last year, our run bags, we just put right next to us in transition. So it does say drop off your bag before starting on the course, after the race, and then you'll be able to pick it up. It says when you pick it up. So our run gear stuff stayed right next to our bikes last year. They didn't have them like lined up or anything anywhere. All right. Next up is the orange bag. This bag here is your bike personal needs in the middle of your bike right after your turnaround of your first lap. So at mile 56-ish or so, it's right after transition. There'll be an area where you'll be able to grab onto stuff that you may need in the middle of your bike. This could be extra fuel, I'll be putting some water in it, all of that. So that is your bike personal needs. And then you have a black bag. That one's orange. Then you'll have a black bag. That's your run personal needs. Both of your run personal needs and bike personal needs to not be of anything of value that you want back. You will get neither of these bags back. I've heard they donated them. I don't know 100% if that's the truth. If not, they may just go in the garbage. So if you have a hoodie in there and you don't end up grabbing that hoodie and wearing it, you will not get it back. So just know that for any of your personal need bags. Your black bag is your run personal needs. That's going to be extra fuel. You can put your headlamp in there if you think you're going to need it. If you're going to be running past sunset, it might get cold, so you may want to put some kind of jacket in there or arm warmers or whatever it may be. I just end up putting extra fuel in mine. And an extra pair of socks that I don't care about being thrown out, because if I do get super sweaty, sometimes my feet get blistery, and I put an extra pair of socks. So that's just kind of my little 2 cents in there for what you can put in there. Right, this video is going to be longer than the other ones for sure. Okay, on the next page we have some race day information. Transition opens at 4:30 in the morning on race day, so that means you can go and check your. Sorry, one of my stand fell down. You can go check on your bike, make sure you have air in your tires, all of that at 4:30 in the morning. We do not need body marking for this event. There are changing tents. Your timing chip is important. It will not be in your packet. You have to go to a different area to pick up your timing chip. Make sure you have a timing chip before you start this race. If not, you don't get counted for. And then have all your friends download the Ironman tracker. Speaking of race morning, there'll be shuttles that take you from transition area to the swim start. These shuttles are just for athletes. Again, there is not room for anybody to watch you at swim start. It is a very closed off small area to get down there and all of that. They could hang out with you at the park if they wanted to, but I recommend them staying at transition or going to that bridge to see the swimmers go by. The buses are going to be for athletes only. One of those reasons you need that wristband. They'll know you're an athlete. This map here shows where those buses are going to be picking up, right next to and around transition. The next page is race day info. I really highly recommend reading these things. It has your cutoff times for the swim. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes after that last athlete enters the water. They'll be closing off the swim, but every athlete has a total time of 17 hours to get the race done. So from when you get into water to the end, you have 17 hours. You will get it done. I'm not too worried about that, but you can read your cutoff times. Also tells us some timing and results information and what temperature it needs to be wetsuit official. This race, I highly doubt, would not be Ricefoot wetsuit legal. Hey, this next page has this cool picture. I didn't get this last year, I don't remember, but there's these really cool red bands that they have, and you're supposed to give them out to any volunteer that helps you along the way, or you just want to cheer on. And I think the volunteers get special recognition if they get so many of those bands. So I'm going to try to find that band this year because I had a couple of volunteers. All right, so the next page on the athlete guide shows about aid station. I thought this was really cool. This is something I did not notice my first year and then realized last year that happens. Every aid station for both bike and for swim, sorry, my watch is doing something funny, for bike and for run, not swim, has an order of what you will approach. So on the bike, you're going to have a trash zone, so you can toss your bottles at the beginning, and then water will come. Mortal hydration is what they have on the water. Any kind of food that you would have to get off the bike. Normally there's not someone handing you food, but there'll be bananas and pretzels and stuff like that. And then Morton, and then you'll have mortal hydration again, and then water, and then another trash zone. That's how the bike goes. So look over this. It's kind of cool because they also wear the same color of whatever they're giving out. Water is blue. Mortal hydration is green. Mort and Goose are black. So whoever's wearing that, that's what they have in their hand. It's very important when you're going through your bike aid stations. If you've never done it before, just slow down, say slowing, all of that. My first couple times, I have just stopped toward the end and got a volunteer to hand me stuff. This time I'll do the slowing and have me hand me some water. Everything else I'm going to pretty much carry with me just because it's easier. But it can be a ruckus of an area. There'll also be bathrooms at every one of the bike aid stations. So run course, same idea. You have trash zone, you have water, mortal hydration, food, Morton. They'll have soda that they usually don't have someone handing out, but it will be there. Mortal hydration, water, trash zone again with the same colored clothing on to match those up. So look at that page on there. It's a really good one to have. Next page is about race day health information. Safety is always important. I recommend going over that. If you don't shop at the feed, you should shop at the feed. I don't know if we have the same ads. I'm guessing they're the same ads because it's just a PDF. Just the way technology is today, I'm like, maybe people get different ads in there, but this should be the same ads. Anyways, next page. All right, on the next page, there's some post-race information. Make sure you read that. Some information about awards ceremony, finisher certificate. There's links in there that you can go and get your pictures. All of that. I think I prepaid for pictures this year. So go over that page. Read on there. Next up is a qualifying page for World Championship. If that's something you're interested, go through, read that. There's new qualifying slots. All of that is not stuff that every age grouper needs. So I'm not going to go over it right now, but it is something that people want. So go check it out. All right, we're going to get into the individual events and rules now. First up is your swim. We talked a lot about the swim and what the swim is, but the thing that sticks out on here is that the swim is a rolling start. What that means is you're going to seed yourself in a line at the beginning based on what you think a full Ironman swim would take you. So if you are an average 2 minute per 100 person, and you think you can do that over the course of your 2.4 miles, you'll put yourself in next to the little sign that says an hour and 20 minutes. Line up where you think that will be, not with the help of the water or anything like that, just what you think you can swim 2 miles in. That's important, so you're not swimming over other people. People aren't swimming over you. The rolling start, what that means is that every 5 seconds they'll beep 4 or 5 people in and tell you to get into this pool. So you're just into the river in this case. So you'll be in line until that goes through. Usually takes about, I think the last person in the water last year was like the 50-minute mark. The year before it was longer. It was like an hour 15. So they're getting a little bit better at it and getting that rolling swim in. Our page here has a little bit of rules about the swim. Things that people ask about is you have to have goggles. You can't have booties at a certain temperature, so check into that. And then there's your wetsuit mandatory, wetsuit legal. Like I said, the legal is 60 to 76 degrees. So this, no matter what, this one will be wetsuit legal. It's not going to be over 76 degrees in that water. Wetsuit mandatory is if the water is below 60 degrees. It's sometimes bordered on that. So you may have to wear a wetsuit. I recommend it. Helps you swim faster. Buoyancy, keep warm. Why not? One of the things people always ask about is that you can't get help in the swim. So what that means, always ask for help if you need it. 100% ask for help if you need help. But if the help that comes to help you moves you forward at all in the swim, you can be disqualified. You are allowed to ask a kayaker, hey, can I hang on here? Are you going to be staying still? I just need a breath. That's very common. You're allowed to do that as long as that person doesn't help you move forward in the swim. So something people always ask about in that. Let's move on to that bike. Next up, we got the bike. We went over the bike. Go check out that video if you haven't, and how the bike course goes. Some important rules that stick out for the bike is drafting. You're not allowed to draft. What drafting means is you're sitting on someone's tail and using their energy to propel yourself forward. Physics is awesome. It happens. They're not allowed in Ironman. If you're in a bike race, sometimes that's the case. Not here. You can get penalties for drafting. It explains the drafting penalties here. It says don't be mean to your referees. If you get those penalties, there is going to be a lot of times where you're bunched up together. these referees are out there not to hurt you. They're out to keep everybody safe. Just know that. If you get a penalty, take it, go on. Again, they're out there to keep you safe. They don't want to give you penalties. They're not handing them out because it's funsies to them. They're just out there for safety. So that's some of the important things about the bike. We got on here. Important things on both the bike and runs. No cameras, phones, video cameras. Those are all prohibited. You must be wearing a helmet at all times. If you're touching your bike, have your helmet on. So if you're not changing your clothes, the first thing you should put on is your helmet when you get into T1. Just do it. Put your helmet on, then get all your shoes and stuff on. No littering. That can also lead to a penalty. Headphones are not allowed. Mirrors are not allowed. Read through these rules. Make sure you know them. They have some rules about your water bottles and hydration systems. Make sure you read through those so you're not surprised by them telling you can't have your hydration system on race day. The next page has this really cool graphics guide that tells you the directional signs that you will see while you're on your bike course. You have forward, left, right, turn around, U-turn, your trash ones, slow, bike cutoff times, mile markers, and course arrows. So check this out. It's a cool little graphic. So that's your bike. All right, go back to my run video if you want to talk a little bit about the run course, but you have your maps and your pages there. The run course, I love rule number 1 on there. Whatever way that you want to get to the finish line, walk, crawl, run. Someone's calling me. Spam, of course. But yeah, the number 1 rule in here, I love. Excuse me, I'm super burpy today. If you want to walk, crawl, roll, whatever way is going to get you yourself doing that to the finish line, you can. So if you're not running on the run course, you're walking, it's okay. Get yourself to that finish line. I know you're going to. You have to be wearing your bib. Again, no cameras, no phones, no camera phones, no headsets, no littering. This is one that's always brought up every year. Running with a bare torso is prohibited. Athletes must wear a shirt, jersey, or sport top / sports ball at any times during the run segment of the race. Uniforms with the front zipper may be unzipped at any length. So you're not allowed to be helped at all on the run course. Someone isn't supposed to hand you anything. You're not allowed to be ran with, so no pacing. Any other fellow athlete, if they have something and hand it to you, if they're pacing you, cool. Obviously, all the volunteers at your rest stops and are allowed to hand you your food and your water and stuff. But if you are running along and there's a court martial and your friend gives you food, sunglasses, whatever, it's technically not allowed. So don't do that. It's an aid of an athlete. Just make sure you have things in your special needs bag that you might need. You just don't get extra help from outside. Kisses and hugs are okay. I give those all the time when I'm on the run course. Then the run course also has a sign graphics page. I really like this. Tells you when your U-turns are, your trash zones, all of that. So your markers will be blue for the run and green arrows for the run. I don't know if that's color because it doesn't really say, but I think they're usually green. So that is the run course. This little page is an advertisement page. What are we on? 53. But it's about Fork Around. Sacramento has some really cool restaurants in it. I recommend checking them out. They'll give you a little $25 voucher to go eat somewhere. Go use it. I didn't use it last year. But go and use it. Like $25 free, cool. And there's like listed restaurants that you can use it at. So go check them out. Go use it. Next page up, there's some overall rules. You're expected to follow all these rules in this page. So just make sure you're reading these. There's a page talking about divisions. If you don't know about divisions yet, this one doesn't have any pro racers at it. So we have age groupers. We have the PC group, or the physically challenged, intellectually disabled group. Hand cycle division is a group. You'll see some hand cyclers out there. They're awesome. And then there's open division. If you are marked as open division, you are not an age grouper. So just be aware of that, because a lot of times when you do marathons and stuff, open division is just for everyone, right? A non-professional. But in this case, you want to make sure you're registered as an age grouper if you want to qualify for Kona awards or overall awards through Ironman and point system. Open division puts you at no qualifying. You're just going out there to race. And there's no problem with that. You can have that. But just know if you're listed as open division and you have hopes of qualifying or getting awards or accumulating points in the Ironman system, make sure you're listed as an age grouper. All right, the next page up talks about violations, the different violations that you can get. I recommend it. It's important that you're wearing your race bib. You have your helmet strapped every time you're touching your bike. So like I said, until your bike is racked, and when you take it off, just keep your helmet on. Littering, don't throw anything aside. You can get in trouble for outside assistance. So it tells you the different levels that you can get penalized for. It's very rare to see, but it does happen. Just be aware of those rules on there. Don't get DQ'd for littering or not having your chin strap on. So the next thing is medical policy. It tells you all that you're supposed to be liable for your own medical issues. You should have filled out a medical form when you first signed up, but there are medical people there. My husband had, he was just feeling off after his 70.3 in Washington last year, and he'd like shivering, a little bit of face numbness, and we had medical come over. They took care of him. They checked on him later. So if you need help at any point, ask someone for help. Even if it's another athlete, they might know just a tad bit more than you, or they may be able to relay it to the person that can help. But ask for help if you need help. This is an athletic event that people spend lots of times training for, but our bodies do what they do, right? So if something is off, ask for help. There's a little bit of FAQs on here. If there's problem with your timing chip, that happens sometimes. You can contact and find out after. There's age groups. It goes from 18 to 80 plus by 5 years, except for 18 to 24 has its own age group, and 80 plus has its own age group. If you don't have your QR code for athlete check-in, you're going to go to Ironman.com and you have a profile on there. You had to have a profile in order to sign up, so you might have to do just forgot password. Make sure you get your little QR code. That's how you get checked in with your photo ID. There aren't assigned numbers for bibs, so it's not like a running race where you know that you're 1, 2, 3, 4 racer. When you get there, they have a stack of bibs and they'll assign you your bib when you get there. I think that's the end of the athlete guide. Oh, there's a cool little athlete checklist in here. This one's nice. It's a nice little reminder in case you're forgetting something. I'm going to do my own little how I get everything together video coming up probably next week, because I'm going to start getting more things together. So I have videos from last year too that I'm going to intertwine with doing a little bit this year. Use that little checklist. It will remind you of something that you're forgetting. Mine is always the chafe cream. So I went out on my long ride a couple weeks ago and I forgot my chafe cream. And there was a couple not so good chafey places. Anyway, those are kind of my things that stick out to me in the athlete guide. That's exactly what they're going to go over in the athlete briefing. They'll add in a little bit of anecdotes and some day of things that might have changed. So make sure you go to the athlete briefing, watch it online. It is imperative to safety. Like I said, they aren't trying to get you to waste time or sell you anything at these briefings. They just want to make sure you know the information to keep yourself safe. And if you have any extra questions, let me know. I'm going to do my question video probably tomorrow or Monday, just over some basic questions that I've gotten over the last couple videos. And yeah, Ironman California is going to kick some butt. You're going to kick its butt. Don't worry about the weather. The weather is going to change a million times. I like a little anecdote that people are adding to the 50% chance of rain or 60% chance of rain that I never actually knew until it rained the first year of Ironman and someone said it, was that when it says 50% chance of rain, that doesn't mean there's going to be 50% chance of rain possible or 50% not possible, that means of the area that forecast is for, it means 50% of it is going to get rain. So interesting little tidbit. I said this in some of my individual course videos. Go do something not triathlon related this weekend. Go out to dinner with fam, go see a movie. Your mind's going to be going crazy, especially if you're a first timer or you're a first timer to California or you're traveling. I understand all that worry and stress, but try to woosah a little bit. Think about that finish line, and it's going to be there. And I can't wait to cheer you guys all on. I'm getting like a bunch of responses for this. And I've heard some first timers, some people who's traveling from Australia, some people doing it for their 10th time, not Ironman California, but 10th race. Some people going for their 12th time so that they can get to Kona one day. I hear you all, and I'm so excited for all of you. Again, this is going to be my third time right now with my run injuries that I've had this year, my back injury. My goal is to get under that 12-hour mark. I'm looking at 50 minutes, 5.5 to 6 hours, and 5 hours will be my times. Hopefully those are my goals. So and some stretch goals I have are, 45 minutes, 5.5 hours, and, like 4:45 on the run. That'd be awesome. I just want to shoot some of my goals at you just because people like hearing numbers sometimes, and we might have some brutal goals. So if you see me out there and I'm not hitting my goal, but I'm close to it, you can be like, come on, we're going to hit our goal. So I'm super excited about this race. Doing these videos for you have amped up my excitement, and especially hearing from all you. So hit the comments below, find me on socials, add me on Instagram. All those links are in my description. Add me over there, add me on TikTok. I'm more responsive on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube than I am Facebook. Sometimes I'm not always on Facebook because that world is a little crazy sometimes. But this is your reminder, do not let your I want to's turn into I can'ts. And I know people that are finishing an Ironman are not letting that happen. I love you all so much. I'm super proud of whatever you're getting done today. And I'll check in with you very, very soon.